Hey guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing this all-new 2023 Thunder Night Purple Metallic BMW 230i Coupe.
And a big thanks to Armis and Cameron at BMW of Tampa for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new premium or performance vehicle in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and that's for Armis or Cameron.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the 2 Series have been BMW's subcompact executive car since 2014. That's when the first generation was released. The second generation was released last year for 2022, featuring a near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution. And for 2023, there are a couple of additional changes, starting with that all-new curved display coming standard on all 2023 2 Series, featuring a 14.9-inch touchscreen with navigation and a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Also, the satin aluminum exterior and black high-gloss interior trims are no longer available, and for 2023, the 2 Series comes in either a coupe or a 4-door Grand Coupe. Here we have the coupe, though, available in 2 different trim levels for 2023, starting with the 230i with a base price of $37,400. Both trims for the 2 Series have an available $2,000 xDrive option. The second trim is the M240i, which starts at $47,900. The 230i gets a 2-liter turbo, cranking out 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, basically straight out of the Toyota Supra. This kind of reminds me of the Supra we just reviewed on this channel. This is a little bit more luxurious, and it has a back seat. So let me know in the comment section which one you guys would prefer. You can expect 0 to 60 with this 8-speed automatic transmission around 5.1 seconds. That was the car and driver time, and that's the times that we've been going with mostly on this channel. We get perforated Sensitech seats, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, auto dimming mirrors, rain sensing wipers, dual zone automatic climate control, adaptive LED headlamps, and parking sensors for the front and rear. All for a base price at $37,400. You can upgrade to the M240i, which starts at $47,900 before a $2,000 upgrade to the xDrive. But without the xDrive, they're $47,900, coming with a 3-liter B58 straight 6 turbo, cranking out 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. Car and driver tested that car to 60 in 3.5 seconds. I believe it was like 3.6, which is absolutely absurd for a sub $50,000 sports car. The overall trim level is similar to the M Sport for the 230i, but we get more beefy brakes, a beefier M differential, and M Sport Tune suspension, which we still get on the M Sport, but it's more beefed up for the M240i. But here we have the 230i without the xDrive with a base price of $37,400. What else do we get for the money? Let's jump right in. So up front, immediately you notice your flickering LED daytime running lights, LED BMW overall headlights. They say BMW LED on them. Hopefully I can pick it up for you on camera. This purple metallic paint is absolutely beautiful. It's about a $650 option, but it absolutely transforms the way this 230i looks. The kidney grills are a good size. They're not oversized like they are in the 4 Series. I'm starting to like the design for the new 4 Series, but I can't say that this 2 Series doesn't have a cleaner overall appearance to it. Functional airflow down below. Hopefully I can pick it up for you on camera. Massive air ducts in both of the front corners. We get front parking sensing on a $37,500 230i. Pretty much loaded with features. Active grille with shutters too. Wheel and tire setup. Let's take a step outside. Before we even do that, the hood area reminds me a little bit of the previous or 2 generations ago BMW M3 with that V8 engine, how it has that cowl in the hood. Very aggressive design. The wheel and tire setup, these are just the base 18-inch V-spoke wheels, but I like the dark gunmetal gray and silver contrast to them. These, of course, are 18-inch rims wrapped in up front. 225/45 R18 Bridgestone Turenza all-season tires. The M Sport package gives you beefier summer performance sticky tires and also beefier brakes, but here we don't have the beefy brakes, but it's a light vehicle. You don't really need the beefiest brakes. We'll see how it performs once we take it out for a drive. The mirrors have a 2-tone contrast with the black and purple metallic, LED turn signal in the center, black trim outside of the glass, blind spot monitoring on the glass, standard feature, black trim surrounding the window trim, no tints, that can be added on aftermarket, smart access for the driver and the passenger, rear wheel and tire setup, basically the same thing as the front. We get the Bridgestone Turenza tires, still 225/45 R18. So we'll see how it puts the power down with almost 300 pound-feet of torque and pretty skinny 225 wide tires. Out rear, we have rear parking sensing, no side sensing. I like these LED taillights, turn signals, and reverse light. These were all new, updated for 2022. Shout out BMW of Tampa for making this review possible. 230i badge in the right corner. We'll take a squat back here, get a good look at the dual exhaust tips. pretty basic diffuser area. It's not the most aggressive diffuser, but what you see is basically what we get. Let's fire up this 2-liter turbo and hear how she sounds. All right guys, that was the sound of the 2-liter twin-scroll turbo 4-cylinder sold by BMW for the 2023 230i, and it sounds pretty decent for what it is, making a healthy amount of power at 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. And we know BMW is notorious for underrating their engine, so that number probably closer to about 280 horsepower, 320, 330 pound-feet of torque. Enough to get this 3,500 pound sport coupe to 60 around 5 seconds. 5.1 was the car in driver test. They got the Supra, and I believe 4.8 with the same power plant, but the Supra is about 300 pounds lighter, so to be expected. What you see is basically what we get. We don't have any strut tower braces connecting the strut tower to the chassis. We'll see once we start this thing up if anything's going on in front of the radiator. But again, what you see is basically what we get. The hydraulic struts are appreciated. You double pull the latch underneath the steering column, and there's no latch to play with down below. It just lifts right up. We can shut this thing right up, take one more step back. Again, I'm really liking that little bulge in the hood area. It definitely makes this car look a lot more aggressive. The interior, also impressive for a base 230i with a base price well under $40,000. So up top, the door panel, it's not the softest material, but it is a rubberized soft touch with some stitched material for the armrest and grab handle. Auto one touch for both the front windows, 2-person memory seats for the Sensitech perforated black leatherette seats, 2 speakers on the door panel, trunk release on it. The bottom portion is just hard plastic, unlike most of the other BMWs, but this is an entry-level BMW, so to be expected. You'll fit a foot long down here, probably a big gulp right next to it, BMW nameplate as we step inside. The seats are power adjustable for the recline, drop, lift, and slide function, and adjustable thigh support is manual. But taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So as you see, we get the dual screens, nice BMW steering wheel, engine start stop, foot on the brake, and everything fires right to life. We'll take this thing off so you get a better view of the touchscreen. The first thing we notice is the steering wheel. It's not an M steering wheel, but it's still pretty thick. We get the very solid 10-2 bolstering notches. Not flat bottom, but it's still a nice wheel, not leather wrapped for the horn area, but it's still a nice rubberized texture. The horn itself, very aggressive sounding horn. People will definitely be getting out of your way. On the left side, cruise control. On the right side, volume, skip, voice commands. You can hang up and answer your phone calls, and this adjusts your infotainment cluster, which, speaking of, the content can be adjusted. You can see your sensory fueling information, map, G meter, also cool. It takes a second for it to load up, as you see, but once it loads up, there it is. And our media and radio. My personal favorite to look out there would be the map. The layout, you can also adjust between different layouts. That's pretty cool. The digital speedo, Lord knows where the tachometer is over there. We can also go up top and have a also pretty funky layout. This is probably my favorite, and we will leave it here. No heads-up display on the base 2 Series also would not be expected. You can press this button one more time and it returns us to the home screen. Twin paddle shifters, controls the 8-speed snappy ZF transmission, auto headlamps and high beams, high quality feeling turn signal stocks. High beam feels nice and high quality too. On the right side, rain sensing wipers. I was not expecting to see that on a base 230i. To the left of the steering wheel, automatic headlamps, some gloss black surrounding the air controls, soft touch for the entire dashboard. We just checked out our 12.3-inch gauge display. This is the 14.9-inch touchscreen. So we get standard navigation. You can check out the navigation screen right here. Give it a second and those letters and words on the outsides will hide away any second now. There we go. But as soon as we touch it, they're going to come right back. But the response is excellent on the screen, just like an iPhone, literally just like an iPhone. Super responsive. Huge thumbs up to BMW. The previous screen was very responsive, but this is almost 3 inches larger, so definitely appreciate it. We can see the music, phone calls once we head out right there. Phone calls, you got to connect the phone to see it, of course, and just the navigation screen, which is my personal favorite to look at all times. What I don't like about this screen is that they eliminated the hard buttons for the climate control, so you have to actually go into the climate menu unless you want to just use automatic climate control, which most of you guys probably will. I just personally prefer using manual climate, so I'd have to press that climate menu button every time and adjust the vent controls to my liking. But underneath that, we have this faux aluminum trim. It's just a plastic, but it looks like a nice aluminum. Beneath that, piano black with some more of that faux aluminum trim surrounding the air vents. The materials here are rubberized. The defrosters and skip and volume controls are hard buttons, so that's appreciated by me. Hazards in the center. We got more of that faux aluminum trim for this entire center stack area. It looks premium. The materials for your knee will often hit are hard plastic, but to be expected with a car in this price point. You can open this thing right up. It exposes a wireless charging pad. That's appreciated, of course. We have a USB port and two 16-ounce size cup holders with a shark fin style pushy things to keep your drinks in place. 12 volt, good spot for a radar detector. You can turn off your traction control, turn off your parking sensors, and start stop, which we'll do for the purpose of this review. Engine start stop, sport, comfort, eco, pro, auto hold with the electronic parking brake. The gear selector controls the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. We can take a quick look at the backup camera. Super high resolution parking sensors, guidance lines, and trajectory. We get front and rear parking sensing. When you put this thing into drive, the trajectory switches to the front wheels, as you see on that front and rear parking sensing screen. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera, but we'll go right back where we were. Very high resolution. Huge thumbs up to BMW for their super impressive all new updated screen. We stay in the backup camera even after we press that P button for park. So to go back to the home screen, you gotta actually press the home screen. Dial, if you don't wanna go through the touchscreen and leave fingerprints all over your screen, you can just use this dial with shortcuts for the media, home, map, telephone, and navigation. Back in option 2, the armrest is soft touch. It's not a leather trim, but it's very well padded, nice and softly. You can easily fit a 6-pack of cans in there, USB port in there too, with a cubby light. The glove box, it's soft touch on the outside of it. That's also impressive. Lined with felt and large. You're fitting 25 plus license plates in there with no issues. As we mentioned, the dashboard is also a soft touch material. The rear view mirror is just about frameless, auto dimming. We don't get any garage home link settings on it, unfortunately, but not a big deal. You can just get a transmitter for your windshield visor. The interior lights, LED. We get a panoramic moonroof. We can open it up. The shade opens up very quickly. It's just a single panel of glass, but it's a very large one at that. You can open it up by pressing this button. And it goes into the roof, so it does not stick out like a sore thumb. It looks like the sun's starting to poke out. It doesn't go out any further than this, but almost out to the end of the front row. You can poke our way out of here. It's starting to be a pretty beautiful day today in Tampa, Florida. Sunny and 75, just like the song. We can close this moonroof right up. I'm impressed that it goes into the trunk. I'm always a fan of that. But that's about it for the front seat. Let's check out the window sticker real quick, see any features that I may have missed on the 2023 BMW 230i Coupe. Base price $37,400, $650 for the Thunder Night metallic purple paint, $1,500 for the convenience package, which includes comfort access keyless entry, $150 for the aluminum trim with mesh effect, $995 for the destination, closes out a tick over or under 41,000 bucks. You can see all the standard features right over here. Excellent on gas, almost 30 mpgs, 26 city, 35 on the highway. No complaints at all. This thing offers a ton of bang for the buck. That's about it for the front seat though. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there, if any. I don't expect there to be any, but let's check it out. It does look like there's an inch or two of legroom according to the seat. Let's figure out how to pop this forward. Okay, there we go. It gives you a nice little slide. So I read that a lot of consumers complain about how tiny this back seat is, but I personally drive a Camaro LT1, which is technically just the same size, if not smaller of a vehicle. So we'll see if this is any worse. I don't think it's gonna be any worse. Legroom wise, this is 10 times better than the Camaro. Obviously, I have no legroom at all. My knees are touching, but I'm not squished and trapped like I am in my car. Headroom, it's about the same. My head is starting to touch the roof, but I still think it's a little bit better than what you would get in the Camaro. The materials are also much better than the Camaro. We have soft touch here, additional speaker. I'm liking this diamond etch for this door panel area and the rubberized materials up top. Very large window for the rear passengers to look at, which also helps visibility if you're trying to look out of your blind spot. The C-pillar here is much smaller compared to other sports cars, such as the Camaro. The interior lights are LED. We get air vents with a third zone climate control in the back of a 230i. That's an absurd feature. I was not expecting that, but I'm very glad that we get it with the two air vents right up top, little center cubby. This reminds me a lot of a 4 Series back seat. It's really not that much smaller back here. You can open up this little center cubby, which once you put it down, it does smack against my leg, so I personally would leave it up. You get two cup holders, 12 ounce, maybe 16 ounce will fit in there. You can also drop this whole little center stack down If you're skiing and you want to still bring 2 people with you, fishing rods, this is perfect for fishing rods. Like in my Camaro, I usually leave my rods in the passenger seat because I don't have a pass-through in my Camaro. So when I go fishing with somebody, it's a whole project trying to get my rods to fit. But BMW thought it through. You can simply just put your rods through the center stack or center area, and you can bring up to 3 other people fishing with you. So very practical vehicle for what it is. Of course, practicality isn't what this car is about, but for a sports car, they did give you some additional practicality that you just don't get from some of the other competition. But that's about it for the back seat. I'm actually impressed with the space. No, it's not a usable amount of space, but I could sit back there for a 30, 45-minute drive. If my buddy was taking me on a fishing trip or something, I would definitely have no problem with that. If I was going from like Florida to New York, yeah, that might be a little bit of a struggle, but for up to an hour trips, definitely doable for somebody that's 6 feet tall sitting behind their seat settings, and that does say a lot for a sports coupe that starts with a 2, not a 4. But anyway, you press this button and the trunk opens right up, and we get hydraulic struts, no hinges at all, so you don't have to worry about crushing your cargo. The opening is large, the floor is deep. Secret storage, I don't know if we have any. It does not look like we do. The 3 Series doesn't have any either. That's because the floor is so ridiculously low, which really maximizes the cargo space. We get cutouts behind the wheel wells. I don't think you'll fit a golf bag horizontally. You might, but you would definitely fit it vertically. You can fold those rear seats down 40, 40, 20. I would expect you to fit up to a 60, maybe even 65-inch TV, which is absolutely ridiculous for a coupe, because even unlike the 3 Series, the cutouts for the seats are the same size as the floor for the trunk. So you'll fit very large objects back there. You don't have to worry about the height either because of the hydraulic struts. But what you see is basically what we get. We can shut this thing right up. This purple metallic paint color is absolutely beautiful. The LED daytime runners for the taillights. I'm loving it. This is a good looking car. This reminds me a lot of like a BMW Supra. I know the Z4 is more similar to the Supra, but this thing is like a more affordable bang for the buck. Also a good performer with some more features. But speaking of bang for your buck performer, let's take this thing out for a drive and see what it's got. All right guys, now we're just about seen everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the 2023 BMW 230i Coupe. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. So we're gonna start off in sport, transition into comfort, and you see what the overall differences are. But in sport, even in sport, the steering is very light. It gets lighter in comfort, of course, but I kind of wish they gave us a little bit more heft. Of course, you want the more heft, go for the M Sport trim or just go all out for the M240i. But the regular 230i, not the heaviest of steering. All right, guys, taking a step out here into this multiple lane highway, we can lean into it. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. There was a little bit of chirp off the line with the tires. I was not expecting that. This thing took off. Wow. Let's try some manual shifts. Ooh. Good gosh. I was not expecting this thing to rip this hard. Right here, 3rd gear. Oh my God. We don't have to push it a whole lot farther than that. And the ride quality is good. It's not like gushy soft like the SUVs from BMW, but it's a good ride quality. You hear some road noise, but it's comparable to most of the other cars in this segment. Compared to like a Supra, this thing is basically silent in the interior. Wind noise, you don't really hear a whole lot. You didn't hear a lot of wind noise in the Supra either. It's mostly like a road noise issue, but good gosh, this thing is fun in sport. Good torque. You hear a little blow off the gas. This thing can pull. Little rev match downshift. The brakes feel nice. They're not the M Sport brakes. You go with the M Sport package if you want the M Sport brakes. If you want the quad pistons up front, go for the M240i. But even these regular brakes, it's a 3,500-pound sports car, so it's not light by any means. Almost the same weight as a Camaro, but the brakes still feel pretty nice. And even with partial throttle, it just feels like it pulls very hard. We're in sport mode, of course. We'll try it out in comfort, see what the differences are. But in sport, this thing can really move. Hopefully we'll be able to step in the gas. Not a lot of people will be in our way here. It's about that time of day in Tampa where you're just not going to be moving anywhere. But yeah, the steering doesn't feel the best. And on the gas. This thing is fast. Like Car and Driver tested it at 5.1. I think you might be able to get this thing in the 4s. Slow it down a little bit more. 2nd gear. It puts you in the seat, legitimately. This is a fast car. He was about to just fly right into me. My gosh. All right, guys. In comfort mode, the throttle becomes a lot less sensitive. You don't hear as much through the exhaust. And the steering, it feels a little bit lighter, but really not much. It's almost as if it doesn't really change in sport mode, which I wish it did. BMWs are usually known for their very sharp and tight steering racks, and it just doesn't really feel all that impressive here in this 230i. The X5 steering rack also didn't feel that impressive, but that's to be expected. It's an X5. It's a family SUV. This is supposed to be a sport coupe. I would like to feel a little bit more through the wheel. Like, literally nothing. I feel absolutely nothing. It's like a video game controller. But in sport, it does tighten up a little bit, but not enough for it to make a huge difference. All right, throwing it in a little quicker than we should. Yeah, the body roll is just about non-existent. It's just the steering feels very numb. But overall, this is an impressive sports coupe. Under the $40,000 price point for the base price, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's faster than you think it is. I'm telling you. Car and Driver tested it at 5.10 to 60. I could see it hitting 60 in 5 seconds, if not even quicker. I'm impressed with this car. 100%. I guess I can't go in from this direction, but we'll figure it out. If you're looking for a sport coupe under the $40,000 price point or $50,000 price point, if you want to go for the M240i, I recommend both for you. If you want a vehicle that you can comfortably drive 4 people in, you don't need a large vehicle, and you want to have about 30 mpgs, I would 100% recommend checking out the 230i. If you want to have absolute, like, mind-blowing speed, you want to do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, but you don't want to spend more than $50,000, go for the M240i. Hopefully I can get my hands on that thing soon, because I've been trying. Trust me, when I read about the B58 engine and this little thingy, little 2 Series, I was like, I gotta drive that car. But if you're looking for just a quick car, good on gas, good looking, and surprisingly spacious, loaded with standard features and tech, I would 100% recommend checking out the 2023 BMW 230i Coupe. And a big thanks to Cameron at BMW of Tampa for making this review possible. I'll leave links to their inventory below. And if you're looking for a new car or SUV, performance car SUV in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you guys, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.